Hi, you guys. Um, so, today I wanted to talk about a couple of things, okay? It seems as if people are going hard. They come hard after you once they see that you have something to offer and they see that you have something really, really special. Um, I've been facing that a lot. But one thing I have noticed during this whole time is that people will start backing up off of you once you stand your ground. When people see that you are not so-called a chump, and when I say this, I'm not saying, throwing bows and, giving them the business, throwing those hands. I don't even know what else you guys called that now. When I was growing up, it was called throwing hands. And yeah, sometimes I had to do that because people used to bully me, or they used to try to. So y'all need to get this together. They used to try to bully me, but yeah. So anyhow, sometimes you do, one thing you do have to do is fight. And it might not be what you think fighting is. Sometimes fighting is standing, and allowing that person to have their moment to say that I'm looking for something bigger. The reason why I'm not clapping back at you, the reason why you're not getting this clap, the reason why I'm not taking it there with you because I'm known to be petty, but I have something greater in mind, so that is what I've been dealing with. I felt like, and I don't even know how this even happens, because when I look on my YouTube channel, it looks like it'll say I'll have like 50 something views. I got one thing that says I have like 1,000 views, and that was like talking about the witchy boo be dismantled, but it wasn't even showing all that. It's showing more now, but it wasn't even showing like anyone was looking at my photos or looking at my videos. However, it looks like people will go into my email and just say really, really bad things about me. Oh, how can you do this when you look this way? Well, if you you've been looking that long, you should see that my whole goal is to not just go back into pageantry and not just, doing that, but standing up for what I truly believe in, what my cause is, what my life cause is, things about my faith. It's something bigger. It's bigger than that. I can come around and be like most people, put a whole bunch of makeup. You guys know I own my own, makeup line, and I'm trying to expand on that. But for like 3 years, so it's not that. If I wanted to take it that way, I could, but for me, this is a blog to be genuinely honest. I don't try to edit anything on here. You don't see any edits on here. And I'm just being authentic. Now, I know that's going to offend some people because some people are not okay with seeing other people in their skin. A lot of people are not okay with being in their own skin because we've been taught to do something that is pleasing to other people. We're taught to be people pleasers. People don't see that. Like, a lot of people don't understand that, but we are taught that. Our voices are, if we have something different, or if we say something different that's going against the norm, then it's wrong. That's not always right, So, yeah. That's basically what it is, wrapped in a nutshell. And sometimes I get tired of it, but I have to remind myself of what the goal is. I want you guys to see this too. I was also like bejeweling. I have to go and jewel these, like make this. Yeah, I gotta glue that down a little bit more. But I have to go and jewel this, like make a shoe that's like bedazzled for this performance. And I was just like, I need to do something different. Everyone's doing the bling bling chucks, and and Adidas and all those things, and I have some of those, but I was just like, I want to be different. When you're dealing with anything with a competition, you want to stand out. And chances are, people will come out with the same attire, and you run the risk. You might find something pretty if it's online or something like that, but you run the risk of having the same outfit as someone else, and that's like, no. So yeah. The next thing I wanted to talk about was growing up with trauma. And this is something that we don't talk about, but it is something that is so necessary to talk about, because it really happens. And a lot of us had it growing up, and when you don't acknowledge it, I even had to do it for myself. When we don't acknowledge it, we don't find ways to correct ourselves. We don't find ways to heal ourselves. And I understand that going through this grief and going through this whole ordeal with dealing with toxic people and things like that, is that I grew up around this. This was something that, some wounds of my childhood that I had to deal with and understand that they are there, even though it looks like I overcame them, even though I did actually overcome a lot of things. But I have to understand, in order to become greater and become better and to help other people, I had to be authentic, and I had to be honest as to the traumas that I faced, So one of those things that I had to face was growing up with toxic people who, raised me and birthed me. Some of those things, some of those traits that I witnessed, I ended up taking I won't say taking a liking to, like I liked it, but taking a liking to, meaning that I ended up emulating those traits because they were constantly around me. Now, what was good about my situation is that I had a lot of people who wanted to like mentor me. They always put me in some kind of program saying, at risk. I didn't understand what that meant. Especially when some of the kids were like acting crazy, y'all. They used to be acting crazy, but I knew my grandmother was not having it. Like, you was not about to do this. And when I say you is not, it's not you are not going to do this. You is not. Like, you is not. And people, you guys know the difference. You know the difference. Most people, I'm not saying this to be, grammatically incorrect. I'm using this as emphasis, saying you is not. You tried it. We know what kind of gum you chew because you tried it. Okay? All right. So, but I didn't understand it. I just had a lot of people supporting and around me to fill in those spots. When I had those spots of inadequacy or things that weren't sufficient. And I'm really grateful for it. Like, I am really grateful for it because I see in the long run, the statistically how the percentage, how the statistics were against me. I should have been either locked up, dead, had a lot of children, out of what I was supposed to be very, very, not as strong as what I am today. Now, I'm not saying I'm all that, and a bag of Doritos, Cool Ranch, because those are my favorite kind of Doritos. Well, the Flaming Hot ones be good too, but yeah. But, to say the least, I wasn't, Bill, you just used 2 negatives in a sentence. Get that right, okay? To all my English teachers, don't come for me. I mean, you can come, but can you come quietly? But success was not in the cards for me, was not in the plan for me. But I know that God saw that fit because here I am, period. Okay, so, yeah. Growing up in in certain situations where there is lack in certain places, sometimes that will mess with your psyche, that'll mess with your emotions, and it just trickled down. Like I said, I did overcome a lot of things and I got outside of the area, but I had to retrain my mind, especially going through abusive relationships afterwards, because it trickled down from what I saw and the things that I witnessed, as a child, and some of those things, it trickled down into my own personal relationships. Didn't think of it because I was like, I want to be so different. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with what they were doing. I was going a totally opposite direction. But somehow our past usually links up and connects with us, and you have to, if you're not able to understand it and notice it why it comes, it does make while it's there, or the reoccurrences that happen, the issues, if you don't address them, history tends to repeat itself. So it did, and it wasn't until I grasped and I was like, okay, this is not me, this is not what I wanted to be, this is not how this is going. And I knew that I had already overcame, especially some of the things that I went through. I was like, you know what, I conquered this last year, I conquered this, so it was easier for me to see once it happened to go and get help, and not only get help, but because when I did reach out for help, a lot of people did not respond to me, or they look at me on the outside, especially when I look like this, y'all. If I come out with no makeup on, that was one of the things, the gifts that I have learned, when in Rome, do as the Romans, but if I come out like this, then most people are like, well, she, they have that, oh, well, she can't, she doesn't need help this way. She's this, she's that, instead of saying, well, this person is human too. Everyone has their own, you don't know their walk. People will say that. They'll talk the talk. But when it actually comes down to it, and they're sizing you up. So, but I had enough sense to go and get help. And when I couldn't get help, be around people who looked the part. Now, sometimes that did not work, and God showed me, like, that did not work. I will tell you this, like, God stepped in, like, when I thought that I was going, let me go get some therapy, let me go get some help this way, let me go get around supportive people who are in that way, and then those people reject you, you're like, well, what? Like, how is this, And so God literally, like, stepped in and literally just guided me through and used some of the things that I learned previously and he connected me with the right people who was able to have a sound ear to be like, okay, something is different with her. I know some things that's going on with her, but this is not what I'm seeing right here, is not who she is. Or what I'm seeing right here is not what's all to be. And not to say potential, just not looking just at potential, because sometimes we can't just always look at potential, but what I'm seeing is not what it is. Just like people will say, if someone who was toxic, or we say the N-word, if they, they're portraying something that is not true. People were saying the same. A lot of people who really got to know me was saying, okay, this is not all what I'm seeing. I'm seeing sad. I'm seeing all this. I'm seeing struggle right here, but this is not the true face, so that helped me a lot. So yeah, for that I really am grateful. But if you've grown in this situation, there are a lot of people who don't speak on that, who don't talk about it. A lot of people who have overcome this situation, and still to this day you wouldn't even know that they came from really struggling backgrounds, so yeah, this is my outlet of just, telling the truth and letting people know, even if no one ever knew my name, which is cool by me, because I like to do what I do, and I do that so well, without the, is that, you can make it too. It might take a little bit more work, but anything that's worth having takes work. Anything that's worth having, relationships take work. I don't understand how people will think that you're gonna have this perfect relationship if you don't work on yourself to be the best person that you can be for other people. First of all, for yourself, okay? And be the best person for your mate, or the person that you're going to be around. How can you, or in an organization, how can you prepare yourself to be the best person that you could possibly be for that organization? How can you do that? And that's what this journey has taught me. It has taught me, a lot of things, but mostly about myself and self-discovery, and how can I be the best person for the job, for the job that is assigned to me, or the job that I'm positioned into. So, yeah. I did talk about people coming for you and how you need to step back. Definitely need to step back. I'm going to go back to that one too, because one thing I learned, I have a couple of friends that are millionaires. I have one friend that is a billionaire. I have a lot of friends who don't have money too. I have friends from all different walks of life. But I will tell you this, one of my friends who is a multimillionaire, we went to school together, and one of the things that he told me was like, well, I'll tell you the scenario. The scenario was I was getting literally attacked. I'm like, I just got finished serving. I just got finished filling up a food pantry. We have like these food pantries in our area and in surrounding areas in Indiana. So we do these things, and that's just how it is, like, especially with our city. Our city is an all-American city, so it's one of those things, like, they reach out. They try to reach out, like, as far as the outward things, the financials, the things. If you're struggling, they try to wrap around you and get you those services that you need. Alcohol addictions, autism, things like that. Almost any kind of thing you could think of that you need assistance with, elderly, grieving loved ones, they have like things here for that, so yeah, so I had just got finished, and you guys see in my videos, like, I do not put on makeup. These are spur of the moments. I put things up when God tells me to put it up. Try to stay consistent that way. So you're going to see me how I am every day. Every day I'm not like this, There used to be a time that I could be like this every day, but there are so many projects that I have to do. I honestly cannot do that, okay? I just cannot. I cannot, okay? Yeah, and I used to laugh when older women used to tell us that, like, yeah, you took like 2-3 hours to go do makeup, and now, I barely go and just wash my face, because you have so many things on your plate. Not to say that I don't like to, get down, and, sometimes I go more extravagant than this, but didn't have it. So this lady, her face was beat. Let me tell you, face was beat. And I was like, when I see someone that I admire their work, because that is good craftsmanship, I'm going to compliment you. There's enough toxicity in our lives. There's enough hate in our world that I don't need it in my area. I don't need it in my arena. So the young lady just started, I was like, oh yeah, you look so nice. I like how they contoured your face, blah, blah, this, and as I turned around, I heard her, and I'm with my friend, and we're talking about his opening, because he has another restaurant that he's trying to open. He opens a lot of restaurants, really, but he's in the engineer field, but that's his thing. He loves restaurants. He loves entrepreneurship. He loves that. So anywho, as we're walking, and talking and everything, and I overhear the lady, she's like, what does she know about that? She looks like a bum, and just all kind of crazy stuff. And I'm like, dang, like, even though I did look kind of, because I had my favorite shoes, which has holes in them because they're so comfy. I use them all the time. I get my money's worth in my gym shoes, y'all. I get my money's worth in my gym shoes, okay? That's the Haitian out of me. But I don't even think it was that, because a lot of Haitians I know get new shoes and stuff. But I love things. If they're not broke, don't fix them. I might try to patch them up or something just because I really like the shoe, So, yeah, but she was giving me the grief, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I wanted to just like, are you serious? Like, how dare you? Like, and I wanted to take my compliment back, but I was like, you know what? It's not even worth it. And my friend stopped, and he's like, listen, let me tell you this. He was like, you can go and battle every battle, but is that gonna make you give you what you want? Sometimes you have to leave things where they are. People who are broke and have a poverty spirit, they're gonna always have something negative to say about everything and everyone. Think about all the people that you know that you are surrounded by, Bill. Do you see them saying anything negative about people? When you bring your ideas, and I was like, you know what? No, they don't. They don't. When I said, and I told them some of my things that I was doing, they were like, that's genius. But all my other friends who weren't, or the people who I thought would, they didn't get it. But look, my millionaire friends did. Look, they did. When I said I wanted to, God told me to give up, going to NPR and going to do those things. Those people, regular people, was like, oh my God, don't do that. You better not do that, But I was like, I know what I heard. Like, and I don't want to go through that again. I want to be where I'm at. And now I'm happier. So, you have to take that all in. When people come for you, you have to understand where they're coming from. Are you going to take those hurt feelings and bottle them up and take them, or take them for as heavyweight, or are you going to take them as a grain of salt? Because that's what you literally have to do. I'm probably never ever going to see that woman again. I probably wouldn't see her doing a signing. I wouldn't see her anywhere. So why do I care? And she's not paying my bills. She's not improving anything else. She's not improving her life because she's trying to throw hatred and shade towards me. When she was already looking cute herself, I already gave her a compliment. It was sincere. So you can't worry about that, because people with small minds are going to talk about people, but people who have, who think about things on a higher level are going to talk about bigger things. They're going to talk about ideas and goals and projects that they want to do. So, you have to learn to let go. You have to let go of certain things. So, yeah. I think that is about it. I'm going to get off of here because I have to go and get my friend. And then after that, I have to get back to work because it is a busy day. So, yeah, I'm going to get off of here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem and have a great day. Bye.